And so welcome back to my YouTube channel. So in this video we are going to see the major difference between a provision and a contingent liability, when a provision is recognized and when a contingent liability is recognized. So let's understand. So first of all, provision is something which is recognized in the books of accounts, okay, but contingent liability, that is not recognized in the books of accounts, but a disclosure is given. ठीक है, so and so issue है करके, they'll just give a disclosure in for contingent liability. Provision is recognized in the books of accounts. ठीक है, so when a provision will be recognized, तीन conditions satisfy now. If these three conditions are satisfied, then a provision will be recognized. First one is that entity should have a present obligation coming from a past event, and then the second one is to settle this obligation there should be an economic outflow of resources, and then the third one is you are reliably able to measure, estimate the amount. Reliably you are able to measure and estimate the amount. ठीक है, if these three conditions are satisfied, then you will recognize a provision. ठीक है, now let's see when contingent liability will be disclosed. So contingent liability ना यहाँ पे ना, if you see, there is no present obligation, there is a possible obligation कि future में there is a possibility of any kind of an obligation. ठीक है, for example, if you see a court case is something that happens in the future. So after the court case, you will know whether you will be liable to pay damages or you will not be liable to pay damages. So this is purely dependent on a future event. So in that case, no, where a company does not know whether it has to pay the damages or whether outflow of economic resources will happen or not, and when company is not able to measure the amount, then in that case, no, where there is a question mark. Okay, in that case, no, and company also feels like a bit feels like it will end up paying the damages, then in that case, no, it will recognize that as a contingent liability and give a disclosure. Okay, it will not recognize in the books of accounts, but at least it will give a disclosure about this issue in the notes. Okay, that is about contingent liability. Now if you see, this is a chart. So here if you see, there is a present obligation and it also probably requires an outflow of resources. Present obligation भी है and it also requires an outflow of resources. So in that case, no, you will recognize provision और इसका related एक disclosure भी दे देते. You will give a disclosure also. Then now on the other side, if you see, there is a possible obligation, present obligation नहीं, possible obligation or a present obligation which may but probably will not, may happen or probably will not happen. Okay, when there is an uncertainty like this, it will not recognize a provision, but it will give a disclosure or as a contingent liability. ठीक है, provision recognize नहीं करते, but contingent liability recognize करते. ठीक है, now let's see another one. See here in this case, no, there is a possible obligation, but the likelihood of outflow of resources is remote. मतलब you will not pay, company feels that it will not pay the damages only even in the future. ठीक है, in that case, no provision and no disclosure. I hope this point is clear. So please do subscribe for more such videos and please do share with your friends. See you all in another video. Thank you all so much.